with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad. Lot of ties in the hearse. I've been on the vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I never sold pack for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, do that ass survive, doing 80 to the house. Then I hit it to the sky, change haters on a tirade. Talking to the crib in the face, be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel big from the bib. Take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grit, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, hit myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's capped. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. I'm burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
See the truth in the glass in the mirror.
Yeah.
Do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see that, and he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard it all. Heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad here, I'ma curve them all. 12 missed calls, and I still made a curtain call. Here to light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young, tell me reckless. Gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace.
Light it up, light it up. Light it up, light it up. Well, well. Oh, light it up, light it up. Ah, light it up, light it up. Well, well.
Yo, it's Chris Brown, Trey Songz, Kanye West.
Your home for hip-hop and R&B.
We the best!
Power 104.7, where old school meets new school.
Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. Like It or Not. Rebecca Azure is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life-ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, scheming, or trying to find the meaning of life. And while the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, then I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.
Like it or not starts now.
Oh, I thought it was going to be other people, but it's just me. Good morning. I guess I could say it times three. Thought I would have Bubba. I thought so. Bubba's not here. Okay, look. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Like It or Not. Well, we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. I'm your host, Rebecca Azor. I don't know where Ben is, but he was here, so I'm assuming he will be here. But it's just me for now, and absolutely, Bubba is sick in bed. Okay, so I thought Bubba was gonna make it, and then he wasn't gonna make it. Let me move this sweater out of the way. There we go. I thought Bubba was gonna make it, but then he wasn't gonna make it. So Bubba doesn't have COVID. That's the good thing. He verified that he doesn't have COVID, but he is down. I know that the flu is going around. I know that's going around. My godson, he had the flu. My brother had the flu. And my brother's kids, my nephews, had the flu. And some people are saying, my brother said that they tested negative for COVID, but COVID's still happening too, right? COVID never left, but now there is an uptick in COVID. So I need you guys to definitely be taking care of yourselves. I've seen a lot of people when I've been in the stores wearing masks. So that's not a problem, but I'm saying like when other people are starting to doing it, you know how it is. That people are starting to doing it, and media isn't covering it. You know, I would say get your mask and notice the people who are coughing everywhere, sneezing everywhere. It's an uptick in that. As I'm shopping around, I'm hearing it. I'm like, people are sick. It's just the whole thing. So put on your mask. Try to limit being in many places with lots of people. Yesterday evening, I ended up not going where I was supposed to go. I just didn't feel comfortable, right? So, and then for grocery shopping, I'm doing that where I am. You know how back then we were going with the morning crowd, because the morning crowd were the older folks who were going to, because they didn't want to be susceptible to getting it through big crowds, right? So the grocery stores are opening it up for the older folks. So I would be in like waiting for the older folks to do their hour or two of shopping, and then I would go right behind them. I just could not do the traffic of groceries and all that other stuff with people. But I say all that to say, y'all, something's happening right now. I don't want you guys to be sick in bed. Bubba, I hope that you get better. To my nephews who aren't watching because they're babies, I hope they get better. My godson and my brother. I've talked to my brother already who's watching, and I know that my mama been giving him that Haitian tea. Not the tea in the tea bag. I'm talking about that Haitian tea. And if you know, you know. We got a little splash of this, a little splash of that, a little sprinkle of the ancestors, and a little bit of Haitian rum. And you're going to be all right. But no, good morning, everybody. I hope that you guys are all well. Let me get into the chat and see who is all here. David, is Ben going to make it? I know that you have direct communication with him. So let me know, because I don't want to just start a story. And okay, he just reconnected. So we'll wait for Ben to get on. I want him. There he is. There goes my brother. All right. What's going on?
Took a little doing, but we are reconnected.
So, and let me not front on Ben right now, because Ben was waiting for me. Let's be clear. Ben was waiting for me. So, okay.
I was here, but right when we were getting started, it just decided to disappear and glitch out on me. Good morning, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was just at first I was like, oh, now Ben ain't here. No, but let me be clear. Ben was here. Ben actually was here before me, because I rolled out of bed late. And so I had a little headache. but I had to rebuke the spirit of whatever was trying to get me. You see,
The spirit of the headache.
I had to rebuke it and I was playing some PJ Morton earlier. So yeah, we had to rebuke that.
Hey,
So.
you guys, excuse me. I'm trying to why is this so lopsided? But anyway, my head is lopsided. Anyway, so what's going on and what's in the news? Like I know we had a whole lot of stuff.
No, before we start with the news, what's going on with you? You know how we do it. I was just telling them about my sick babies, my nephews who had to be they had to be hospitalized.
Oh, no.
But speaking of that, look, I didn't ask you a question. Speaking of that, to the Indiana women, and if I had the video, I would play it on my show right now. To the women in Indiana who stopped my brother from going on a plane because he had his coats. And they said that, they stopped him. He was leaving, he was going on the plane, Spirit Airlines, yes, in Indiana. These women stopped my brother from going on the plane because he was carrying his coats. And they said he could not carry his coats because they were as if they were a carry-on. My brother was trying to get home to his babies who were hospitalized. Coats, yes.
Wow.
He wanted to get home to his babies who were hospitalized. So he's rushing home. He's on like the latest flight they can possibly have, trying to get home to his babies. His wife is in the hospital with the babies, sending him pictures and updates. And this Spirit Airlines worker stopped him. So my brother put on the coats. He put them on and was like, you know what? I'm gonna put them on. She didn't like that he did that. So then he got upset. He's like, I have to get on this plane. So he said he was listening to some gospel music so that he can calm his nerves down. And boom, the girl says, excuse me, sir. And my brother cursed. He said the F word. And he turned around and he's like, I have to get on this plane. Mm-hmm. The girl walks in front of him and tells him, you're not getting on the plane. And my brother has it on video, okay? And she's like, you're not gonna get on the plane. And then she pushes him and accuses my brother of pushing her.
Oh, wow.
And so my brother missed his flight to go to his babies. My brother doesn't scream. My brother doesn't curse like that. And to hear his voice, and she had 6 police officers come at him and literally was in his face and said, I'll make sure you don't get on this plane. It's on video.
Where's the video? Show it.
I have to get his permission, but I will definitely. Let me text him. He's probably asleep. Yes, I know.
You done told the whole story.
I did, and I wish I had the girls' names and everything. My brother doesn't speak English very well, and they took advantage of that. He had to pull his phone out and show, here are my kids. Like, this is what I'm talking about. These are my children. They're in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so they made my brother miss his flight, and my brother had to sleep at the airport. Had to pay extra money to go on a Delta flight that was going the next day. And after that, the girl gets off of her shift. My brother was outside, literally near tears. The girl got off of her shift, looked down at him and laughed. And my brother was like, one of the only phrases that he may not have English down pat, but he does know God bless you. And that's what he told her. And I can hear the pain in my brother's voice. And that was my problem. That was my issue. I didn't like that.
Yeah, no, I that sounds beyond frustrating.
Spirit Airlines in Indiana, and if I had that girl name, ooh, and next time we do the show, if I remember her name, I swear it's all going down.
Yes, I was gonna say in the course of the show, maybe you get up with your brother and get permission to share that video because
I'm not playing games. Look, I'm sorry, but that just stirred my spirit up. I didn't mean for it to do that. Ben, how was your week?
Interesting, and it's coming along. Got a lot of stuff happening, man. A lot of stuff happening, but everything is everything. Everything around here.
You all right?
I'm good.
Your soul posture's all right?
My what now?
Your soul posture is all right?
What is the soul posture? I've been in church a long time. What is soul posture?
Well, that's more so. Maybe we were talking about you on Thursday. We were talking about you on the show, yeah. And I was telling them like Ben is a millennial, but he likes to say that he's like on the a elder millennial.
Gen X. I'm 1980.
They're like, no, they won't let you be. They won't let this not be like he's not that. He's not a Gen Xer. He's not. He's definitely a millennial. And I said, yeah, I can attest to that. But Ben would like to put himself on the elder part of it. And I'm like, so they're like, well, when was he born? And not me saying he's 10 years older than me, so that means he was born in. We doing math. I'm like, no, it was too much. But they're like, no, Ben is such a cool person because that's what millennials do. If we like you, we won't attach you to something that we don't like. Even if it could be true, he ain't that.
So y'all don't want to attach me to Gen X. What's wrong with Gen X?
I didn't say anything was wrong with Gen X. We're just a crew of millennials that were sitting and having conversations, the same conversations that Generation Z has about us. And
Yes.
my babies who are I'm like, what generation are y'all? They're like, we're Generation Alpha. Please stop talking now. Please stop talking.
That's what's funny, because Generation Z just last week were the it generation. They were the hot stuff. Now they done got replaced the same way millennials supplanted us.
Ben, I remember it was us, millennials. And here's the thing, millennials, we not letting go. We're not even in our heyday. We're still super young. So we're like, why have they aged us at an age where they aged us? When I was about 26, they already started calling us washed up. I was like,
but you got to understand, it's from the perspective of the youngest generation that's sentient, right? So you get a little 12-year-old, 13-year-old, they look at 30-year-old, they're like, oh God, you're an elder.
It's so crazy.
You're
and it's
grandmother.
But no, it'd be like Generation Z, baby, you were like 19, sweetie. Like, baby, stop, don't, and do not ever. You know how I like to be like, I'm the rich auntie. I do not want anybody who is like 28, because I'm 33. I don't want anybody who's like 28 coming up to me and be like, oh my God, auntie.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm grandpa
baby.
now. I'm grandpa now.
And you're not grandpa. You're a salt and pepper millennial.
No,
let me tell you,
certain neighborhoods I might go to and walk up in and be like, hey, pops. Like,
it gets crazy.
What up, young blood?
They're like, ma'am. And I'm like, is this 5-year-old really like mamming me right now? But I think that's respectful. But why is it okay? Because I wouldn't want this 5-year-old to be like Rebecca. Because then I'm be like, who raised this child? Who raised this child? It's a problem. But yeah, I get it. I know it. But Generation Alpha, my nephew who's like 13, he's like, yeah, I'm in Generation Alpha. First of all, let go of that bass in your voice, because you were just a baby yesterday. And now you got a little bass and you got a little tone in there.
My son is 13 and he has.
Ben, your son is 13 years old, Ben.
Right. And sometimes I don't make fun of him, but I kind of poke at him about the bass in his voice. I'm like, man, get that bass out your voice. But the funny thing is like, I remember distinctly him not having any bass in his voice, right? So I'm jumping, we picking at him, get the bass out your voice, but no, it's like, wow, you've got bass in your voice.
It's so crazy. It's a beautiful thing to see, because I remember when you had 2, and then you had 3, and I remember when your oldest was just a baby, and then it was just. I remember when we went to the Sip and See. We went to Jeremiah's Sip and See.
Yep.
Wow,
he just turned 6 yesterday, and he is he's
happy birthday, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Wow.
6 years old now.
Dang, you would have thought I had one by now. Thank you, Jesus, for your protection and your covering. But in the future, we're gonna see some babies. What generation will my babies be? We don't even know. They're probably gonna be some kind of like.
You know who won't have children? No, it's not.
Who won't have children?
Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit.
Okay.
Corny.
Okay.
He can't.
So tell me about it. What's going on?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Ben, tell me about it, because I would love to know. I would love to know. I would love to see it. I would love to know. Where we're going.
Oh my goodness, no, he's you know who that is, right? You know the ex-Fed. He was like a federal agent, and how a man.
But I know Fresh and Fit.
Okay, so Fresh and Fit, you have two black guys, whatever descent, but they are like the most anti-black, anti-woman, anti-human kind of drivel on the internet. You know the show, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, I thought you. So Myron is I don't know if he's new on Twitter. I don't know how long he's been on Twitter, but anyway, he just says the absolute most ridiculous things on Twitter, and I understand it's to get attention, but I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, bro, you're about 40 years old. You can't possibly talk like this and have a healthy relationship in your life. And that apparently struck a nerve with him, because he had like y'all was getting it in on X. Well, yeah. I mean, all I really said was, you sound like a man who can't have a family.
The black adjacent guy, the one that looks like he's from somewhere else. That's all I got. But because when I first seen the show, I thought that he was like DJ Khaled, and that's not to be disrespectful. I thought that, and because I grew up with like one of my closest friends. Look, because one of my closest friends are white.
I've got a
anyway,
lot of
at the
white
end
friends.
he is very anti-black woman, and he's disrespectful, and he talks about what he wants, and he is old, and he's not a good person.
Like
But
50 years old out here talking about young 13-year-old and 14-year-old.
Wait, he wrote a book?
Why women deserve less.
You're kidding me. Because not even Kevin Samuels would say this. You're kidding me. You're
Well,
kidding me.
I mean, and he's a part of this movement that is trying to devalue and demean women into submission.
And he's probably like not even 1/3 black. I don't know. And he's claiming that side of him. And he might have to do ancestry.com because it's not given, and he gets to speak for black men. I don't like it.
Well, no, he doesn't speak for. He certainly doesn't speak for descendants of slaves.
He's giving me Louisiana mixed up in it, mangled and tangled.
I mean, he really just speaks for feds.
Not Pastor Ben.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's talk about what you wrote on social. Wait, no, read it because
that's not the good one. You can go back to the one. Go back to the one where he had a meltdown. Because I mean, apparently, maybe he can't have a wife or kids because when I just kind of casually mentioned it, I mean, he was demeaning. If you look at the thread, and I don't know if you can get there, David, go through my timeline. It's not that important, but the point is, if you know who Myron Gaines is, you kind of put the math together and say he's too emotionally stunted to ever have a family. We're talking about family, so
who makes people like him then? And I'm glad you brought it up though. While you look for the tweet for us, I want to make sure
I can go do it, get it myself, and I'll see.
Yeah, look, he's like, you just scrolling, David. Listen, who makes these men? And this is my problem with social media right now, especially for us as black men and women, because I want you guys to understand, black men don't hate black women, and black women don't hate black men. But in the small space that is social media, right? But that has its largest following in this small social media space, the largest following and stuff, the rhetoric and the talking points that are abusive to our communities, those are the ones that the algorithm pushes forward. And these people like Myron and all these other people from these whack podcasts, they get to be the voice for black men and black women. And that is very problematic. They have that one woman on the side while they're disrespecting black women. They have the one black woman on the side like, that's so good. I never thought of it that way. And they're sitting there like, women, like I said this already, shouldn't have their periods. Periods is something that came from like women being disrespectful to men.
There it is. So all I said, okay, so go to his first comment. Go to his first tweet that I was responding to. He said, a woman's vote should be 50%. Now, I can't really see that. That's tiny, man. Hang on, let me blow my screen up. I'm old. Generation X. A woman's vote should be 50% of a man's unless they have property, government, civil service, or voting alongside their husband, right? The most asinine and archaic kind of thinking that you can get from a man. But apparently it's popular these days to be a Neanderthal. But I digress. He continues and he says, the stupidest thing we did was give women an equal vote to men when they don't do 10% of the work men do to run a society and are not mandated to participate in selective service. He's attempting to sound intelligent here, which makes this even funnier. Finally, he says, the fact that OnlyFans bimbos vote matters as much as veterans is infuriating. Notice he didn't say OnlyFans bimbos vote as compared to podcasters' votes. He tries to draw the comparison between quote unquote OnlyFans bimbos and veterans so that you can apply some distinction in valor and quality. But had he done like OnlyFans girls with podcasting bros, then if OnlyFans girls can't vote, then surely as hell Myron Gaines can't vote. Anyway, I digress. Then all I said to him was, spoken like a man who can't find a wife or have a family, and he kind of melted down.
You see, it'd be those people that
read it. Read it.
Okay, you're a flaming liberal.
There's a lot of profanity and
I won't say when I get to him, I won't say him. But viewer discretion is advised. You're a flaming liberal, and this is Myron to our beloved Benjamin P. Dixon. Don't play. So make sure y'all go under his post and cuss Myron out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sending you guys there, kind of. You're a flaming liberal that lurks on conservative creators' pages talking mess. Here's the attention you crave, you soy boy, vegan, closing the refrigerator with your hip.
Boom. That's my hip. I close with my hip. Boom.
He closed the refrigerator with his hip, and he refers to him as a slur that is said to the LGBT community. This is X, which is Twitter, and there's no vagina safety and trust board to stop me from absolutely flaming your B ass. F off. First of all, this man who is so disrespectful to he's marginalized communities. He literally called Ben the F word, but spelled it with the PH. And I'm not talking about like FECK. I'm talking about the F word that is towards the LGBT community. Yeah. And then said that he was descriptive and said he hits the fridge with his hip.
Boom.
But if y'all go look, and now if we're talking about this, I want y'all to go back and look at this black adjacent man.
You go back to yes.
Look at this black adjacent man and his mannerisms on his podcast. If we want to talk about the like that, then
go to
it'd be those people.
Profile,
it'd be those people. Like I don't understand why these people are at the forefront at the conversations for us, man. I don't get it. But you know who pushes it?
But I don't want to take you too far off of your schedule like I did last week.
Yeah, listen, it's okay. It's all right. We're gonna be all right because this type of stuff really grinds my gears. These people are at the front for they're noms. Remember, men with mics, women with mics, woms and noms. And I don't like to see it, but you know who's gonna pay them? This is what social media, which I don't like, it caters to our downfall. It caters to the skits that are pushing so many
traits of our nature.
I love black men.
I love black women.
Oh my goodness, I love me a black man. I love me a black man so much, I like to get him from the motherland. And then I come from motherland adjacent, Haiti, okay? So, I love him from Africa. I like to go get mine right from the soil and the dirt. I like him to have that accent. I love it all. What's going on, Ben?
Something Myron would never have. No, I'm so.
Oh my God. Because Ben has been blessed. I'm telling you, children are blessings, okay? And if you want them,
You can't have a child. I mean, I guess you can. I guess you can impregnate a woman. Sure, you could do that, Myron, but you can't have a healthy relationship with a woman if you think about them in the way he described, saying they only deserve 50% of the vote or whatever, or shouldn't vote at all. Like, I God bless your children if you ever have any. That's all I got to say.
I don't like to speak on people's sacks and wombs, so I will not, but I don't like that he's telling women how their value is. He's, like I said, not even Kevin Samuels. He's trying to be above that level. Right. Fresh and Fit podcast, I believe, didn't they just go through something where they were removed from a certain...
They lost their money. Yeah, but right now they're on Rumble, which I think... It got a feeling it's got some kind of Russian ties to it. I'm not sure if this is an allegation. It's just a sensation.
They're pushing for making us be divided. And it's somebody who I got to question his blackness. Yeah. And you guys are listening to this. And because black women and men, we love each other. At the end of the day, the 5%ers online who like to be pushed to the forefront and they're whack. I just heard this man say, this is on Baller Alert, whom I just heard this man say, and he's ATL Jacob. He's the guy that produced He's the guy that produced.
Oh, I know ATL Jacob, yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that produced Future's latest album, right?
ATL Jacob.
ATL, yes. And I didn't know he looked the way he did. And I'm not saying that I didn't know he looked like that. But he's not a ugly man or anything. He's not unattractive. I'm just saying I just didn't know. He sat there and said, my girlfriend got pregnant and she was gonna have a baby, and I didn't want her to have the baby. So I went out. I told her don't have the baby. So I went out and got another girl pregnant at the same time, because I was like, okay, then you gonna get, I'm gonna make sure. Like he said this on the mic. He said this on the microphone, and the reaction from the black men, they were like, that's Sagittarius energy. I don't know that or that's Aquarius energy. The woman said that, and the guy was like, dang, that's wild, man. Instead of saying, my black brother, you gonna sit up here and talk about how you
intentionally set up two families for
you tapped into your childish bag. You didn't want to have a baby, so in order to get her upset because she chose to have the baby, you went and got another woman pregnant.
Thank goodness his production is much better than his life choices. my God.
My goodness.
Just, I mean, he'd be on the corner somewhere. Like me, can you want to buy this track from a brother?
Jesus, I couldn't believe it. So my thing is, we're having these type of people lead conversations
Exactly.
when
in black relationships.
I get upset, and that don't be the truth, because and then you got. I'm sorry to say to that beautiful woman who when he said that, she said, "Oh my God, that's Aquarius energy," or whatever astrology sign she chose
to associate that with, like, what's going on in there? What's the calculus going on in her brain in that part?
My goodness, because that's how dumb people are on social media. They don't read. They feel like they cannot have an actual feeling to a man that's disrespecting women. Girl, step up with more than just what you're saying, first of all. And men, when you see women doing it too, be okay to check that woman, because we cannot be sitting here and allowing folks to, and when I say folks outside of blackness, folks outside, and I'm not talking about black adjacent, I'm talking about the whites, the in-betweens, the on the corners. Y'all can't get in, but we're allowing you to see it and make judgment from these two bozos that have no media literacy.
Put the bozos. I want to make sure people see exactly what I'm talking about.
Let me go find them and I'll find the link. No, I swear. This is what I'm talking about. People who don't have any media literacy. And, at first I used to think, oh, okay, no. These people who don't have any media literacy, like, they get on here, they get on these mics, and we are taking their word for Bible. I'm sorry.
When they're emotionally stunted men, children who are incapable of having healthy relationships, as evidenced by the fact that, like, I woke up at 4 this morning. I wake up and begin my meditation somewhere around 4, mm-hmm. and there Myron was streaming on Twitter. So I clicked on it just to listen real quick, and there he was soliciting love from his subscribers. I was like, oh, that's so. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my subscribers and we spend time with each other, but I got a wife in the bed and kids to tuck in.
Yeah.
You can
get, but they get money for doing this.
Myron,
he's not married. He's not married.
You can have, no, he's not. Come on. Who's going to marry him with that kind of mindset that he has towards women?
Yeah.
Just somebody he can be. I mean, he is a cop. So, I mean, with that kind of.
Go ahead and click that clip I sent you, David, and let me know when you're ready, because, guys, I didn't make this up. And again, I love how ATL Jacob produces, but this type of thing, and this is his truth, but this is problematic in our community, that these are the conversations that are happening on our large black platforms.
And I ain't never seen what he looked like, but now I don't even know what brother looked like.
Because I'm not saying that he's unattractive. I just didn't know he looked like this. And there are women out here that are allowed. Sometimes I have to look back at myself when I allow a certain type of man to do something to me. I have to be like, girl, remember who you are. Like, remember who you are and your power. Don't allow these people. What you say?
No. Because what you're saying is so real quick. Somebody said online that they went back and they looked over their life about how they dated this guy who treated them so badly, who looked horrible, had nothing to bring to the table, and she realized it was because he was good at arguing.
Oh, that's good.
All right, I'm sorry.
Look, see, that was a podcast moment here. That's so good. That's so good, baby.
Aquarius.
All right. Go ahead. Play that clip. David.
My kids are 3 weeks apart. Like,
yeah, what's the situation with that? Like,
I wasn't ready, so I was like, bro, I ain't ready. So like, that was an argument of ours. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm finna get Shawty pregnant.
Whoa!
So I got her pregnant on purpose.
Okay.
That's such a Sagittarius thing to do.
Okay.
Such a Sagittarius, so spontaneous.
Bruh.
You set yourself up to be stressed out.
How was it dealing with the pregnancy? Did you do the maternity photos or anything like that? Or
it was so stressful. I ain't talked to one, and I barely talked to the other one during the pregnancy because it was too much. I was trying to work. Okay. So I'm like, I can't let this like take over me, and this is what I need to take over.
So you ignored them their whole pregnancy?
Like, my kids are 3 weeks apart. Like,
all right.
Yeah, what's the situation with that?
Y'all thought I was making that up? This is everything I just said rolled into this, and this is my problem too. Right now, men are taking control of these microphones, and they're telling us too much and stuff that we did not ask for. They're giving us. And I hate to say this because I don't want to make this, but I don't like men that swear they're so masculine. Them being on the mic, they're giving us sassy business. I need you to shut up. because now you a talkative, I want to talk to my man and pillow talk with my man, and we can be sassy together like that. But I don't need you to bring it to the microphone. And what he's saying right now, you see how he said he actively went to go get another woman pregnant because he didn't want the woman that he was dealing with at the time to have the baby. So he actively went to go do that. That's dangerous, you guys. And then he said that they were disturbing his peace. That's you can't walk out
created
here.
That monster.
Yes, you can't walk out here and say that you want peace when you walking around disturbing people's pieces. Pieces. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
Great.
You will have no sleep. Listen, like that girl said, I ain't getting no sleep because of you. You ain't getting no sleep because of me.
And I bet you he ain't changed not nary diaper.
No. He said that he hardly talked to him.
Because could you imagine having to actually emotionally provide for two different children? You know who had this situation because he wasn't listening to the Lord?
Who did?
Abraham's old funky behind.
Talk to him.
Imagine the stress. Y'all got to forgive me because Pastor Bo just hit. I'm gonna get out of it real quick. But when you decide to do something on your own accord and not follow good common sense or what thus said the Lord in Abraham's case, you go out there and have two children. And then I wonder if Abraham actually changed any diapers or stayed up with them at 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
He suffered. And we know that Abraham suffered. And when you do go out of, and look, because now I'm over here shouting you down from the left side of the church. When you go outside of the will, baby, you alone in the wilderness, and them hyenas and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And now you put yourself in that position. So you can't sit up here on the microphone and say that they were disturbing your peace. You went outside of the will. You went and did what you wanted to do. You hurt people, and you think that you get to live your life all good and dandy. You came from creating one of the best albums that Future has done in the past few years, not in totality, but you came out of nowhere, and we started giving you praise for how you were producing these beats. But you represent yourself as a person and an artist, and you sit on this microphone and you talk about pleasantly how you disrespected two Black women in your pettiness, and then said that you needed to concentrate, and their situations that you put them in was distractive to you doing your work. Hey, God don't play about his kids.
We don't need this. We don't need this type of Black male energy. We don't need this type of male energy, period. No. But I ain't, my immediate concern when it comes to this type of issue is the Black community. We don't need this type of Black male energy. Less of ATL Jacobs energy there, more of his beats, less of that.
Please. And even with that, I'm like, I can't respect that he got on the mic and said this. Now there are a lot of people who may have done this. We've experienced it. We've seen that. But this right here, what I'm seeing is and the fact that the girl, you guys, the biggest irk to me in that one is that beautiful woman saying, that's such a Sagittarius. That's a Sagittarius in you. Girl, that's all you had to say to that man?
In that moment.
Oh, I need my women to do better. And she's the example of the people that get cracked on TikTok when they're with the women that are sit over here with these men who are talking about how they've done women, abused women, treated women, and they sit on the side like, oh my God, that's so right.
What is up with all the, listen, I don't buy into the tropes of women being intellectually inferior at all, and based on whether they are OnlyFans model. No. Some of the most brilliant people in the world that you're gonna ever meet are probably some OnlyFans workers. Let's just keep 100. Go to Twitter and listen to people talk, and you see that they have the intellectual capacity to take down just about anybody in the game. Now, that said, I do wonder, why on earth do these women sit on the sideline and let morons like Myron Gaines and the other dude who look kind of kerfuffled, why do they let them get out here and say these types of things and rarely give any real pushback? What is that?
What is that about? It's about them sitting there and getting the coin. It's about them sitting there and because it pays. Ben, just like we talk about in politics, how it pays to ride the fence, and how it pays to grift, and how it pays to be a fascist. It pays. So in over here, these women are sitting there, and what's funny is the internet is like basically forever. So they will find you and they will see you sitting here on the side of wrong. And it will be there forever. And my good sis, I need you to step it up on this next, because it's the baller alert. And baller alert does a good job in putting out like different things. And I like their politics page, but stuff like this, I don't want our young blackness.
Come on.
This is what it to be. I want it to be stronger. Not that y'all got to be sitting there preaching. Not that we have to agree with everything that people are saying who got a mic. Okay. Not that. I don't. It's not that, because I don't agree with sometimes preachers sometimes when they're preaching. So I go to a church that I feel like more aligns with where I'm at. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I need something to challenge our community for us to do better with each other. And doing what he did to women, and that being a conversation where it was like you were more asking how he got away with it. You were saying that's such an Aquarius thing of him to do. You guys were laughing about it. Imagine the women who had to deal with him who were watching it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a representation also to people who are not black, who already have an idea of how black men are with their children. And this man is sitting here and telling you exactly what he did to women as a father to be.
Which is not represented. Listen, let's just keep it real. Like there's actual data. I had the brother on, Josh Levs. I had him on like 9 years ago. He did a study and wrote a book about the fact that black men are actually more present in the lives of their children than any other demographic.
Talk about it.
Lie that has been spun is that we're not. And then you get morons like ATL Jacob to come out there and say stuff like that, which confirms this bias is not rooted in truth. And then you get folks like Myron Gaines and the entire manosphere, the Jason Whitlocks of the world, like the people who get the most money to get out there and say the absolute worst thing about black men and particularly black women. That's what gets promoted to the top, because they can't let you realize the truth that black dads, we rock.
Yeah, no, Ben, black dads rock, black men rock, black everything rocks. People who like to make sure they push the talking points and the rhetoric and the narrative that hurts our community, I can give you 2 huge middle fingers. I don't care about your content. I don't like it. It doesn't mean that you guys have to be holier than thou. It doesn't mean, like, I like Club Shay Shay, even though it gets weird in there. I like Club Shay Shay because he's giving people opportunity to sit there, tell their truths, and the one that he has with Ocho Cinco. It's just 2 men who came from football talking about how their experiences were with women, and you know they're going back and forth about it. Ocho's talking about where he is as a man right now with his I believe wife, and then or wife to be, and Shannon Sharp is talking about where he is right now and what he's looking for and why he's single. So those conversations to me are okay. But when we're having it, when we're disrespecting black men and black women, I can't sit here and allow y'all to keep doing that. Even though me myself, I can't stop it.
Rebecca, that's what pays the bills.
I'm gonna say that.
There's some white folks who love to watch that, and they would pay Myron Gaines and Fresh and Fit good money to watch it.
No, you're right, Ben, because I know white folks who will attach themselves to who they think is the best black activists in our community. But we know, everybody knows that activists can be hurt. This activist can be hurtful, but the white people will attach themselves to them because it gives them some kind of like
connect. What is it?
White people get some kind of like, okay, I follow this guy, so I can't. It helps their white guilt. Okay.
But what
So I got there because what I'm saying is some people they'll watch. Some white people will watch these abusive black people in these spaces with the mics and just say, "I watch Fresh and Fit."
Right.
And he says,
yes.
And he says,
same. You almost make me cuss. They provide the same dag-nabbit service for just different groups of white people.
Yes, they do, and it's problematic.
God, do y'all see why Rebecca stay around all these years? They provide different groups of white people, different intentions. Like, I mean, those white liberals, they get on my nerves too. But those white conservatives that Myron and them are serving and getting a check from, they have a different intention, but they serve the same. Speak on it.
I did, and I don't want to speak too much because we got some politics to go into, but it's around the same conversation as well. It's another person in representation. And I'm talking about the woman that we ain't seen for years, and then another woman who's running, and they're all talking about the same thing, but they have these particular people saying the same talking point about America's racism, and that's to cater to white guilt. I'm telling you, it's to make them Feel good. We'll talk more about that after this quick break. Listen, if you are watching right now on Benjamin Dixon's channel, if you're watching from my channel, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Send it around. Let's play with the algorithm. Let's get our videos out there. Let's be the men with
Tell Myron I talked about him.
The ones and yes, go over there and tell them people that we talking about them. Bring it on over here. Get the algorithm going. Listen, go get you some coffee. Go get you some tea or whatever is your choice of beverage in the morning time. And we'll be right back with more Like It or Not after this.
Really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah. Close the match cause they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Pills to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out. So right now, say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh, cheers to all the haters, cause you proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny. And you can see whatever from behind me, but I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Clothes to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out. It's time to say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh, if you're on the bus, say yeah. If you're on the train, say yeah. If you gotta walk, say yeah. Everybody's going somewhere. Young or old, I really don't care. Life has never really been fair. So put your fist up in the air. Say yeah. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh.
All right.
I like, whoa.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
still my
that.
jam all these years later.
Yeah, it is. And then now I'm gonna get a hit on YouTube when we get they're gonna we can play a song like, and not to say that man's from nowhere, because I honestly feel like we done revived his remember how he did us?
He was like, oh cool, fan base. Anyway, in other news.
Yes, he did. And we was like, now, sir, okay, we don't.
Hey man, we picking up you. We got a couple. At that time, we had like 900 people watching at the same time.
We had like 5,000. Then that was early days.
Man, come over here and he was like, "Oh, look at this!"
We don't revive his Twitter, and they saw him repost a new song. Sir, you haven't posted something since literally 2018.
And then ding, 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 he get like 1,000 notifications. And then he was like,
then
I think I gotta go put gas in the car.
Reposted us and he didn't reply. He ain't quote. He reposted.
I was like, oh, okay, never mind. We're talking about the artist in that song that we love. We played it so much on the show. We were like, hey, y'all go show him some love. And all of a sudden, boom, blew up his Twitter.
And y'all did.
Like,
and he was like,
nice.
oh, I've been that. And that's right. Get that energy. Your voice is beautiful. But baby, you haven't been on this Twitter in ages.
Brought like, can there be life to these bones? These drop. I can make anything a sermon. All right, what's next, Rebecca?
Listen, that's hilarious. I love that. But I was telling them, because look, I tell all our business on Leftist Mafia. But I was like, we had a fish, and the fish was dying. We had a snowstorm. We didn't want to take care of our fish, and then we ended up loving our fish so much. Ben really was feeding it, and we would go. Sometimes when we needed a mental break, we would just go sit with the fish. And then they literally brought a fish to the office and they abandoned it. So me and Ben had to take care of the fish. And then a snowstorm came, and then we didn't go to the office for almost a month.
Didn't it die over that night?
And then we came back and we were like, yo, this fish has to be dead. So we were like, the fish is dead. It's time to pour it out.
But it wasn't.
But yes, we report. I have the video. When I find it, I'll send it out. But we were pouring the fish in the toilet, and the fish started swimming.
Hey,
that fish said, "Not today." So they called the fish Lazarus, Lazarfish.
Oh my goodness!
Now that fish is in fish heaven. Got to be, because when we left that office, we left the fish behind. Fish dead. Fish dead.
That fish probably dead that same day, just the last little death pangs. And we thought it resurrected from the grave. It was already dead.
Oh my goodness! We're like, dang, nobody's been feeding the fish. The water was taken, so we gave it a funeral, and the Lord said no.
I feel like this is an episode of the Cosby Show, which I guess we're not supposed to talk about Cosby, but the episode with Rudy and the fish. Remember, did you ever saw that episode?
I watched Cosby, but see, it's been so long.
No, this was like season 1. This was like before. This was like 10 years before you were born, almost. Like, because I was maybe 6 when it came out. I don't know. But anyway, Rudy Huxtable, they had a funeral for the fish, but that fish was dead, and they flushed it down the toilet. But what happened in the office was just like that, except our fish came back to life.
Because let me tell you, there was people who were laying hands on that fish when other people left it for dead.
Y'all better be. See, when white folks leave you for dead, you better be glad there's some blackness interceding on your behalf.
It's the blackness that was holding it together. When they literally left the building, didn't speak to us, no communication, and we were still doing what needed to be done. They wouldn't even have got no numbers if it wasn't for blackness.
You know what it dawned on me, Rebecca? I finally understand how we should categorize what's going on with our culture that's being synthesized and absorbed and co-opted. They're draining black soul, and now you see it everywhere. No offense, I'd love to see the little Asian babies and dancing and popping and locking, and but it really in a way bothers me, because I see our black culture being extracted from us, and without black folks being properly credited or paid, now it's being affiliated with so many other cultures. No, listen.
And that's the point, Ben. They don't want, because when other people do it, it makes sense.
It looks good. It's like, oh, look at that white boy doing the dance.
Yes, like look at him. But then when we do what we're known to do, it's just like, no matter how good we are at it, they don't want to see it. They want to make sure they only can see us with these. Do you not see the skits that go viral on TikTok? When I go on TikTok, it's a white girl sitting in a car, just singing any dumb song, saying 2 lines from the lyrics, and it goes viral. If a black person were to do the same thing, it wouldn't work. So the black person has to sit in the car, say something outrageous about a black man, and then rap on top of that Sexy Red's lyrics and then come out and show they thong or they whatever and then go viral.
That's
and
right.
Everybody's watching that.
That's right. That's right. Meanwhile, what goes viral in terms of Black culture is not Black people. It's every other culture and every other ethnicity and race that is using Black culture. All the popping and locking that's going on in China right now. Y'all look great over there, man. I ain't gonna lie. It looks great.
Yep, and like the people on social media at the beginning of 2020. Remember when we were all savages, and then the white girls wanted to be savages too. And then remember when the dance, what was the dance? What's the name of my car? Renegade came out.
Yes.
And a Black girl made it, but in the white space on TikTok.
When it's up, it is up. Good.
No, not the up and stuck. That's Cardi. But there was the Renegade dance. Renegade. I forgot it, but it was like some kind of dance. But I remember because you were so sad for the little Black girl. Because the white girl got invited to Jimmy Fallon, I want to say, for the same dance. And then Black women went to war for that Black little girl and made sure that Black little girl was then invited and credited for her creating the dance. So let's be honest. We know what it is for us in this space. And I know y'all think it's a complaint that we do here, but no. If we're going to do the work, I'm always going to acknowledge what's happening in this space. And I want you to know that if we were to sit here and talk about Black people disrespectfully, and if we also were to sit here when we're discussing politics and talk about and leave out the truths and sit there and say that Trump might be great or go with those talking points, I promise you our views would be shot up to the sky. They would put us at the forefront of the algorithm.
Rich I would be if I pretended to be a conservative.
Amen.
First of all, I'm actually intelligent, so I could actually be a better conservative than most of them. Man, we'd be millionaires. Anyway, I digress. The main reason I brought that up was because it finally dawned on me how we should address it. Like, all of these cultures love you, mean it, respect it, and I love to see you all doing the dances, and I think imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but we should have it on the record that they're catching up with what Black folks was doing like in 1983. Just so we're like,
we've been on.
We it looks great, but like we're farther along than that. And I think that's meaningful because Black folks stay innovating, and where society has caught up with what we were doing in 83, Black folks done moved on to something new, as we always do.
Yes, we do. And they're going to try to take it each time. On TikTok wouldn't be TikTok. TikTok wouldn't have a luxury. I hate that I have to go into the algorithms, and we are gonna go into America being racist. And I know my camera shut off, but we are gonna go into America being racist, David, ASAP. But I hate having to have these arguments while I change my battery that about how our Blackness is so, they limit us, but they take all of our stuff and they do it all over social media. Their social media platforms grow because of our types of conversation. I'm talking about ours Blackness, the lingo, the phrases, all the dances, our luxury, all of that. But the other part of it is we don't get the credit for it, like what you were trying to point out. And I hate having to type into the search bar Black recipes.
That's right.
Black luxury, because when I type in luxury, it only shows me white people. When I type in chicken recipes, it only shows me white hands. I don't want to see grandmama's hands with the arthritis and veins and all of that, because it ain't pepper in there. It ain't pepper on that chicken.
But Rebecca, you gotta check that. See, this is that what you said is true. Yes, and the evolution of that phenomenon is that now those white hands cooking chicken are cooking with Black recipes. With Black traditions, and then they're passing like, oh, look at what I discovered. I discovered chitlins. No, you didn't. Anyway, I digress.
And then now the recipe done got whitewashed. And now I'm sitting down looking on social media pages and platforms, and they got, and shouts out, because I didn't do this before. January 1st, the first day of the year, is our Independence Day, Haitian Independence Day, right? And we're the first Black country to win our independence for beating down our colonizers, okay? So we're the first Black republic to do so. My thing is, I got onto Cat Williams' internet, and I seen white folks putting fruits in our soup jamu. And if you don't know what soup jamu is a soup that we literally ate. We used to make for our colonizers, our French colonizers, and they wouldn't let us eat the delicacy, right? And they used to eat it with like little things. And when we killed each and every one of them, murdered them in cold-blooded, while their bodies were laying there beheaded.
It was in war. There was no war crimes there, according
exactly.
Yes.
We went and took that soup, sat there while their heads was all over the place, bodies all over the place, and made it better. And we ate it. We ate it as a sign of, hey, oh, y'all wouldn't let us eat it. Now we will eat it, rebellion. But then we're gonna make it better. We're gonna add all the things that we know can make it better. And that's what we did. And that's how we got Super Junior. And I got on this internet and they tried to re-gentrify.
Re-gentrify in blood.
The original version wasn't good. So now y'all want to take it back.
Take it back and then anyway.
Please.
So we gotta listen, I know we got you got videos and I got a video.
Okay, so let's drop this. We got to get to it because I want to make sure we do get to it before we get out of here. I don't want to hold you. I know you're a father, and I don't want to hold you.
Yes,
you're a husband.
Unlike Myron. Good luck with that part of life, Myron.
And you are a father that loves his wife and his partner that he knocked up. That's what kind of man you are. Unlike ATL Jacob. Now, here we are. America will try to tell you that it's not. America itself, America, right? Will try to tell you that it's not racist. But if the ground could speak, the soil could speak, the blood of the indigenous people could speak, literally the bodies that have been unidentified of Black people can speak, the bodies that had to be thrown over through transportation could speak, it would say otherwise. The system literally tells you that it's racist. And I'm talking about each system, the education system, the criminal justice system, the workforce, like the career system here. All of that health system tells us that it's racist. Yet we have our representation, our leaders who say otherwise. And I want to go into two things. I want you to grab, and I should have told you to do this, David, I want you to grab the video of Kamala Harris at The View. But right now we're going to discuss Nikki Haley, who was questioned, and this question is asked to a lot of people who are not Black, but aren't white either. Do you believe that America is racist? And so I want you guys to listen to when Nikki Haley, who is a presidential candidate, was asked this question. And I want you to hear how she answers it. And I want to point out that Nikki Haley is not a white woman. Her name is Nimrata. But let's take a listen to her answer on this.
Racist party? Are you involved in a racist party?
No. We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country. Our goal is to make sure that today is better than yesterday. Are we perfect? No. But our goal is to always make sure we try and be more perfect every day that we can. I know I faced racism when I was growing up, but I can tell you today is a lot better than it was then. Our goal is to lift up everybody, not go and divide people on race or gender or party or anything else. We've had enough of that in America. That's why I'm so passionate about doing this. I don't want my kids growing up where they're sitting there thinking that they're disadvantaged because of a color or a gender. I want them to know that if they work hard, they can do and be anything they want to be in America.
That was so, girl, what was the answer? Because if it's not, then if your party isn't racist, who are the people that were racist to you? Where did their family members come from? I can assure you that it's the party that you're trying to represent. That's where it came from. Secondly, the reason you're fighting for what, trying to use these Martin Luther King Jr., the ones that your party likes to quote a lot, trying to use those talking points that Martin Luther King Jr. Stated. You don't want people to have to experience racism. You wouldn't have to say that if your party wasn't racist. You wouldn't have to say that you want people to experience a better life. You wouldn't have to say any of those things, but yet here you are. And that first statement that you said that you believe your party isn't racist, everything that you said after that you wouldn't have to say it if your party was not racist. And America itself is racist. Not only is your party racist, but America itself is racist. And I bring that up because our vice president, who's a Black and Asian woman, whichever one she wants to choose to be on that day to represent, she, love her meaning. I'm not gonna lie. When she became vice president, it was a moment for us. Didn't like her. And I said, also look, I talked about this on Leftist Mafia too. I said Ben had to sit me down when I was like, we're gonna have a black woman vice president. Like, and you were like, okay, Rebecca, and what else? I'm like, it's gonna be.
You mean I planted that seed?
It's a historical. I said it's gonna be historical for us. It was me. And the two other women who were working alongside me as journalists at the what we were doing at the time, and you were sitting us down, and you were like, "No, Rebecca, you're not only a journalist. Now you have a voice. You're working in. I want you to work on that. You're in the digital space. You have a voice. You don't only have to read the who, what, when, where. What is your take on this?" And I said, "Well, she's a black woman, and she's making history." Ben, you were like, okay, and what else do you know about her? Well, she is also somebody who represents historical black colleges and universities. This is going to be big for America. You were like, and what else? Well, Ben, what else? What now? Where now, Ben? Come on now. And you were like, okay, I need y'all to go home, read about her, and then come back and let's have a conversation. Oh, we came back that next week, and we're like, she won't be able to help us when it comes to this. What about our black men? And if she's done this to so many families in these communities that are like her own, can we trust her to make sure that we're okay?
I didn't realize that I did that to you because now I'm like, lay off. She's vice president. Lay off. Give her some room to breathe.
No.
Looks like I started the whole thing.
It was that. You can't find it. We need that clip. So I'm bringing this up because of you, Ben, and it wasn't for me to go hate her. You just wanted me to look at who's going to be representing us, and if they're going to be representing us, what is past them being the first black person? Because we've already went through that phase with Barack Obama. What is past? Like, what are they going to do for us as a community? For us in my community, when I have children, what is that going to look like for my student loans? What is that going to look like for my housing? You wanted me to see if this person was representing those issues that hit our community the most. So was her being black helpful to us? Because I haven't seen her in ages, right?
I also don't think that they let her do anything. I think.
I mean, I would say that, but then it's like
they out there to look kind of. I've seen them set her up to look pretty foolish on a couple of occasions.
You also made me get her name right. You were like, her name is not. It's Kamala.
So I told you to. Well, at least that's balanced, right? So you should look at a person holistically, and then you should.
But. She went on to The View. I have the clip because it just took me. Let me see. I think this is the full.
Oh, he has it 2 minutes long.
Okay, good, perfect. You have it. All right, perfect. So I want you guys to listen to what Kamala Harris said on The View, and it's a couple of things that we can talk about for here. We talk about how she is on this, has, to me, blood on her hands for her, with Israel and Gaza, and her not being able to verbally announce what's happening not only in Israel but in Gaza and the Palestinian people. Let's take a listen.
A little bit about how you're going to go after the other side. Sure. Because some heavy-hitting Democrats are sounding the alarm behind closed doors. President Obama reportedly has said that he thinks the Biden campaign is too complacent when it comes to Trump. Representative Jim Clyburn has said the campaign isn't breaking through the MAGA wall. Michelle Obama says she's terrified, as we are, about the potential outcome of the election. Now, are you scared, first of all, what could happen if Trump ever became, God forbid, president again? And what are you going to do to stop the crazies?
I am scared as heck.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm traveling our country. There's an old saying that there are only two ways to run for office, either without an opponent or scared. So on all of those points, yes, we should all be scared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But as we know, and certainly this is a table of very powerful women, we don't run away from something when we're scared. We fight back against it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So many of us know when we are scared for the future of our children.
They're gonna give our pages a hit. Stop it real quick. So they're gonna give our pages a hit. This wasn't the clip, but Do you see her energy here? They ask her a question, and what she's doing is what I told you, what you told me not to do when it came to supporting her. Do not. They asked her a question, and she's going into, we're strong women here. And I know that we don't even have a voice in these spaces, women. She's going there where she knows it's going to, like, it has to be more than that. They asked you a question. Right. And why, like, we need you to answer, what do you think when it comes to Trump being, what is that? You are the vice president right now. How dangerous can it be for us to have a Donald Trump? What is the administration doing? How are they dropping the ball when it comes to Donald Trump probably getting this seat? Because you guys don't seem to be doing a thing. Why are you talking about the women on stage? And then you wanted to be scared as heck. Now you want to be relatable because you used heck. Like you're doing these things that I don't like. So the clip that I'm talking about is when she's sitting on the same chair at The View, and she's asked about where she stands with Israel. You know what she brings up? She brings up the hostages and the concert.
Right.
But I'm like, since lady, that was the beginning of the whole thing. We have now gone through maybe the number of people that died, the Palestinian people that died, the number of those people that died. So the number of people that you're talking about, let's make it make sense. And the blood is on America's hands because we are allies and we provided some of the tools necessary to murder, obliterate Palestinian people. And you're sitting here and waving your little rap around and
banging. I mean,
listen. And then you have the nerve to say as well in the same conversation, America, because they asked her, is America racist? She said, America has some troubles with racism. Yes, they do. And I had to remind the people at the Leftist Mafia a few years ago, she said, America is not a racist country. And then she went on to sign a bill that protected Asians from hate crimes. And Black people were being murdered left to right.
Still being, yes.
And we were having to go out and protest in the middle of COVID because we were fighting for our rights. People were literally hitting. We had domestic terrorists who were white people going to the Capitol, and they blamed it on Black Lives Matter. Where is America not racist? And you thought I would forget about that when you sat on The View and said America has its struggles with racism, which it took you were literally walking around the park to get there in your conversation and your talking points. And that's how you did it when you talked about Israel. Why didn't you mention the Palestinian people that were dying? And when you're talking about racism, now all of a sudden your talking point has changed because you, Kamala Harris, definitely said that in 2021 because we covered it here on this channel. And oh, do the people forget, but I won't. And you get on The View and you talk about how we have dealings with racism historically, right? And you saying that, getting the hand claps, you wanted those sound bites to sound right. But is that really where you stand with it? I don't like my leadership looking like this. I don't like my leadership cannot announce and verbally identify the people who are losing their lives in Palestine. Yeah. I don't like that you can't acknowledge it. And you have to go back to talking about Israel and how Israel is hurt. How about everyone? Nobody should be at all dead. And we shouldn't be supplying the tools to continue to kill people. Innocent lives. So genocide.
And they'll never say it until, I don't know what, 15 years from now, they'll finally admit that what we're going through right now is genocide. As it pertains to Kamala, I have she's Kamala, she's the vice president. Shout out to her. She's not in an envious position. I wouldn't want to be in the position. And I'm quite glad, quite honestly, that I'm not really the type of person who would run or could run. Being inside of the American political system really requires you to do exactly what you described Kamala doing, right? What we see politicians doing all the time. They never answer the question. They can't, because if they actually answer the question, then they would reveal that they understand the true problem. Of course, they're not going to recognize the Palestinian people, because if they did, they would have to recognize the fundamental problem of Israel's occupation. And the open air was no longer an open air prison that was the Gaza Strip. It is now a completely and totally decimated graveyard, right? So they can never even acknowledge the existence of those people, let alone the 24,000 that have been killed since October 7th. But they will make you remember October 7th. That's fine. Not only remember October 7th, actually have some standing grievances with the strategy of Hamas. Like, what was your big plan? Like, so I not only remember October 7th for what happened to the Israeli people, I also remember October 7th because, well, we're here now because of the strategery of Hamas, which has now gotten 25,000 people killed by a barbaric regime that was just waiting for an excuse to do it, right? When you look at Benjamin Netanyahu, he is a bloodthirsty, absolutely barbaric war criminal who gave credence, Rebecca, to Adolf Hitler over Muslims, blaming the Holocaust on Muslims more than Adolf Hitler in a video that I got on my timeline. So this is the type of depth of hatred and barbarity that's at the heart of Benjamin Netanyahu. So I don't only blame Benjamin Netanyahu, I also blame the strategery. Here's the thing. If they want us to remember October 7th, which I will, you're gonna have a problem always wanting to trigger our emotions over October 7th while simultaneously ignoring the 12,000 children who have been killed since October 7th. You want me to feel bad about October 7th? Then how should I feel about all of the children you have killed since October 7th? Do they not measure up?
The math doesn't math.
The math doesn't math.
And and that's my problem, Ben. The same way that they've occupied and murdered and the way that their
strategery is a joke, by the way. So my strategery is George W. Bush. It's my way of mocking the ignorance of the matter. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. The strategy that they're coming up with and they're going with, I feel like the leadership there in Israel, they have a way that is Hitler-like, and America knows that because they have the same protocol when it comes to us, people who don't look like them, talk like them, believe like them. Historically, this is what they do. Currently, this is what they're doing, and this is what they've done. So come on now, we know what they're going to support. That's why I have a problem with our representation sitting here, and who knows that she a few years ago wouldn't be able to be in this seat or whatever the case may be. She's a diversity pick, and yes, she is. She's a diversity pick.
Wait. I know you say that. I don't disagree with the context that you're saying it. Okay, you're saying she's a diversity pick in that gave liberal white America the ability to check off the box. Said, "Oh, we got us."
Okay, so and if y'all think y'all gonna see it again in the next,
forget about it. They already trying to get rid of her.
Thank you.
They already trying to get. They said
they're making sure.
Just like the president at Harvard. Just like the president at Harvard.
Yes, just like at Harvard. You come on, Ben. Exactly. And so for me, I'm like, girl, if you know you leaving, you gotta leave. You like Denzel said, I'm leaving here with something. Because you're not giving us anything. And I really, really, really would love for you to say something. And maybe when she gets out of office, she's gonna have to. Maybe she's gonna give us something.
Maybe she can't say anything right now, though.
And I believe that.
Absolutely can't.
But it's because what do we have leadership for, Ben? Because that lets me know leadership is really, why do we have it?
No, you have leadership, but then eventually leadership itself becomes co-opted by the regime, right? And maybe I need to do a whole video structuring this. Like, you have leadership, but there is, I was talking about the deep state before anybody. I mean, like, matter of fact, there's a video on my timeline with me and Glenn Greenwald from like 2016 where we were breaking down the deep state before Alex Jones even knew what the deep state was. Leadership today is representative of that actual true deep state that exists, that doesn't matter which party is in power, that regime is in power. Kamala cannot speak out against that regime.
Yeah.
Period. She couldn't.
I have a problem with it, and I have a
For
problem
risk
with
of her,
Biden.
at risk of her life, if you think
Yeah,
about it.
and I'm sure. Yes, I know. I'm sure. I know it all. And I hate that she has to be pulled. They're pushing her now out there, right? What we're seeing now. We ain't seen it since. They pushed her out here, and now when the block is hot, feds are watching. And what feds are watching, I'm talking about internet. You know we the feds. We know we're gonna pick it apart. I don't want that to be her representation, but it is. And I also remember the times where she said things that are opposite from what she's saying right now. I don't like that for her. I don't like that to be her representation. But I also know that Palestinian people are dying because of this administration.
That's right.
As well. And it irks my soul because they get to do these walkthroughs like celebrities in the club because they're campaigning. And now they're starting to say things that sound nice and that white people can repost on their page because America is doing something good here. What's that lady name? Anna Navarro? Is she on that show?
On The View, yeah.
She was sitting next to her. And she looked at her and said, Madam Vice President, oh, what a beautiful, I can look at you and say that. Historic, and everybody's just clapping it up. But no, girl, people are dying. Let's ask the real questions. Why? Why are you guys supporting this? I need them to ask those questions to her, but I know they can't because they had to be vetted. The questions had to be vetted before she sat there. But I need somebody to go against the grain. I know Whoopi was sitting over there like, baby, I got something to ask. I need somebody to go against the grain and ask the questions, and I want to see what she was able to answer in that moment. Not these padded questions, and these people are dying. How do you feel about it? At least can you acknowledge that they're dying?
See, I got my own hypothesis on the matter. I think that the reason they have made Kamala look absolutely foolish. Don't get me wrong. I know that she's not necessarily the most coordinated individual, and sometimes she can trip herself up. But my hypothesis is that she got in there and she saw exactly what she was dealing with. And the very first time she even attempted to speak up, they've been sending her on goose chases ever since. Every time Kamala comes in public, it's at the wrong time, in the wrong place, in a city that's not even relevant to the story of the week.
Right.
They'll send her somewhere to look foolish. And I think she's finally realized, as vice president, I literally have no power. Not only do I have no power, I don't have power because I serve at the pleasure of the president, right? But I also have no power because I can't speak. I can't say anything about anything that's happening. And if I even hint at it, well, they'll send me on a mission that makes me look like a complete moron. That's my hypothesis. But, I've been wrong before.
I don't know. I want to see more leadership go against the grain, but I know that's going to be probably at the cost of their lives and their generations to come. But when y'all get in these positions, when we choose you to be in these positions, we want to see something different, at least not for the other things. Okay, our student loans, we cried about that, but we essentially knew, shoot, it's been this long I've been dealing with them, like whatever. A lot of other issues, but now on this one, I just want, this particular issue bothers me, with them babies dying, with the people dying, kids suffering. We're seeing this on our timeline every day, and they're going to go, and they're acting like they don't hear it, see it, and we know they do.
But they want you to care about October 7th.
And they want us to, yeah.
I'm sorry. The more they play that game, the more they say, remember October 7th.
That's my problem.
What horrible things happened on. Yes, horrible things did happen on October 7th. But you know what has been even worse? Every day since. So every time I see these little apparatchiks and operatives on Twitter say, remember. Yes, I do remember October 7th. But I also remember the bodies of children broken, brains splattered by the thousands. You cannot ask us to have a heart of compassion for October 7th and not expect us to have a heart of compassion for everyday sins.
Your battery died. And yes, you're right, Ben. The heart of compassion for everyday sins. And right now, October 7th happened, and those people should have never died. They should have never died. But you bombing hospitals and schools and obliterating the country looking for hostages, looking for this assailants, looking for. Why can we not acknowledge that there can be another way? Why is killing and starting a war, committing genocide, why is that the way? And why is America okay with helping to supply everything needed to do what they're doing? And it's not only us, it's other countries too. But why is America okay with this? And then for us to do something, to say something as dumb as a humanitarian pause and allow them 4 hours to go figure out where they're going to hide for the rest of the day.
How many journalists are we at? 116 journalists, I believe, Israel's killed. Like some here. This issue right here really, it shows us how powerless we are.
Yeah.
Right, because we see genocide happening, and one of the things about it that stood out to me is a report I heard about Israel using artificial intelligence to track and target who listen, as a person who is neck deep in artificial intelligence, let me first tell you that has to be the absolute worst nightmare scenario use of artificial intelligence, when you realize they got every single person's address down to the GPS of where your phone is. And now artificial intelligence is being used in Gaza to track down and recommend targets for the Air Force to strike.
Wow.
When you put that right up next to this fact, 116 journalists have been killed. Many have been killed in their homes.
Yep. Just recently, another, I think Al Jazeera journalist was just murdered, setting up for a story, and they made him, I think it was like something about, Ben, this is so gruesome. He was dying inside and they barricaded while watching that man die. They made sure there was no way out for that journalist. You guys, this is what we're dealing with. People who are trying to get us the story and its truth and help the people in their Palestinian voices and bring it out. They're dying. They're being murdered in such a nasty way. I just can't. The babies are dying, and she gets to sit on The View and talk about October 7th.
October 7th. Oh, what about October 7th? Oh, yes.
Oh, Jesus. It really
What about everyday sense, you soulless cretins?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it hurts me. I know that she has to have these talking points and stuff, but I need my leaders to be able to go against the grain. I need them to do this. I need them. Okay, girl, all the other stuff, fine. But I need to see where you're at. Like I saw where you were when it came to Black issues. You said America wasn't racist, but then turned around and signed a anti-hate crime bill for agents. And then you turned around and sat on The View and said America has racist. Okay, whatever about that. But right now, there are people dying. There's a war happening, and that we're funding and we're supplying them with things. And we can't even say stop, ceasefire. We can't say that.
No, hey, this excuse me, but I'm sorry, I got church folks watching. This monster, Benjamin Netanyahu, said not even the Hague, the International Court of Justice, the International Court of Justice, he said not even the Hague is going to stop him.
See?
From the north and the south. It started off just in northern Palestine, but we knew that wasn't going to be the end. He's taking all of Palestine. He said not even the Hague, and Joe Biden is just, no disrespect to old folks with senility, but bro, you cannot walk through this moment of history complicit with genocide with a maniac who said not even the Hague can stop him, and think America's going to come out unscathed. Oh, I love the solidarity going across the global south right now. Not only are they all joining forces against Israel, which they should, because the state of Israel is committing genocide and war crimes of other magnitudes, right? But also they're joining forces to recommend charges be brought up against the United States of America. Now, I live here. My children are being raised here. I need God to bless America, but goddamn America too.
Yeah, no, goddamn America too. And we live here and we experience it in a way that, thank you, Lord, that it wasn't the way our ancestors, experienced it. But we're still, no matter how the system seems to elevate, they still find a way to oppress us. And we still have to keep fighting. And while I see what's happening in Palestine as something that's relatable to what's happened here, it's because I know that because of the color of our skin, because of who we are and what we believe and the languages that we spoke, all of those things, they treated us as inferior. And that's what I see happening over there with Israel and Gaza. And that's why they want to kill off those people. They bombed Black communities here in America.
Philadelphia move, Tulsa race massacre,
right? And refuse to give them anything.
Right? Despite Rebecca, let's just be clear. I want to be clear. These Jim Crow crackers, they would do the same thing to us in this country if they got an opportunity.
Yep.
They've said as much.
Yep.
They have literally said, I just read some of the manifesto of the Jacksonville shooter at the Dollar General just last year. And the hatred, I mean, they are waiting for a chance to slaughter Black people the way Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu's far right-wing government is slaughtering Palestinians. So I don't want any American who's sitting around, any Black American who's sitting around like, oh, we don't need to get involved with what's going on with Palestine or whatever foolishness is being passed down from the likes of Myron Gaines and these imbecilic Black conservatives. Y'all gonna mess around and run with these Nazis and these white supremacists to the point where they are coming to Black neighborhoods, doing what they've done in the past. We don't even have to project out what they would do in the future when we look at what they did to Black folks in the past.
Amen.
What's happening in Gaza is a white supremacist operation in the same order.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Rebecca.
No, you're fine. Actually, that ties into this video that David actually sent us, that talks about America and racism. And this is going to be with Natasha Alford, and she was on CNN and speaking with them. That's a great place for you to play the video, because David's like, listen, lady, I've been sending you this video. He done sent me this video on 17 different platforms. And he's in the chat. He's like, Rebecca, let's play this video. So let's take a look at Natasha Alford and what she said about racism in America.
Was the party that started to dig us out of that in this country and to improve us every day, which she never actually says. DeSantis says it, and I'm surprised at that, because that's part of our proud history as Republicans, the fight against slavery.
Can I just say something, though? I mean, we talk about this as if it is the past. We've covered stories where people have died, have been killed because of racism. Jacksonville, Florida, the Dollar Tree shooting. I mean, this is happening right now. And this is not just the Black community, right? The Japanese internment. I mean, those families and descendants are still here. My last name is Alford, not because my family chose that last name. That is the name of the slave-holding family that owned us. I know the plantation that we are from in South Carolina, and I am here. My father desegregated a school. He remembers those things. So why do we have to talk about it as if it is past? This is right now. The pain is real. The survivors of racism, we are here, right? And so if you don't have a message around that talks about the future, that talks about the present, you cannot leave this country.
Well, Republicans do have a message around it. And
it's to ignore it. It's to say that we are colorblind, which does not solve the problem.
But it is to say that we are undoubtedly a better and stronger nation on this front today than we were 10, 20, 40, 50, 150, 180 years ago. We are undoubtedly better as an American people than we ever have been, and that will be true again tomorrow. And
why is it? It's not because we ignored it. It's because people called out what was uncomfortable, and they challenged the status quo, and they said we need to live up to what the American dream actually is. Those were the people who were demonized. We just celebrated Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was killed. He was killed. He was not considered a favorite or a darling of America.
That's a good clip, David.
Because he stood up against racism, against poverty, and actually the greatest threat was that he was uniting poor white people, right, with poor people of color. That was the greatest threat to America, was that he was willing to bring us together. So again, we have to move past talking about this as if it is history, as if it's not happening right now. And when the Republican Party does this colorblind thing, you're gaslighting people, and they're going to react to that, and they're going to show it at the polls.
You know, the problem is not what you.
Is there more?
Right?
Oh my goodness!
That's a message centered around patriotism and opportunity and equity. The problem is that there is no leader currently in the Republican Party vying for the presidency who is saying what you just said. I mean, to openly deny that America has ever been a racist country, every politician has tics that were developed from their start in politics. And clearly what Nikki Haley saw in South Carolina 20 years ago as a person of color is she had to say things like this in order to advance early on in her career. That in and of itself is
She can't even call herself her real name.
That's what I'm saying. And that's my problem with the people who want to be leaders. You can stop it right there, but that's my problem with the people who want to be leaders, right? She can't even call herself by her real name. Okay, so we got to call her Nikki. I think she has of Indian descent. That's her parents are from
Indian.
Yeah, okay, so they're from India. So with her, and even with Jimmy Neutron, the Indian Jimmy Neutron. What's his name?
That boy, Jimmy Neutron.
Vivek. You dropped the video about Vivek. Yes, with Vivek and Vivek with him, his last name. You dropped the video where the people were saying, "Hey," and by the way, he dropped out of the presidential campaign, but they were saying, "Hey, I would have never voted for you. I'm gonna be honest, because your name makes me uncomfortable, and it reminds me of the people." Remember, I said this on the show millions of times. It reminds me of the people who were responsible for 9/11.
Yes, David, do you have that clip? I think I gave it to you earlier. Because
drop that video real quick, and then we'll go back and we will talk about Natasha Alford's really great commentary.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm sorry, I'm not being prejudiced, guys, but I don't like his name. I don't like where he came from. After 9/11, I still harbor a lot of hard feelings about that.
It's okay. I mean, is he Trump? No, but he's okay.
I had somebody call me for Vivek, and that person could not say his last name, but I was like, come on, are you just picking people out of the street or what? Like, you gotta be able to say the candidate's name. I'm sorry.
No other candidate did.
No, that was Ben. That was looking sharp, man.
Candidate.
And if y'all haven't seen the video, and then go on to Ben's social media. I believe it's also on your page, right, Ben?
Yeah,
Okay, so make sure you check it out on YouTube. It's really good, and Ben gives you his Ben. But with Brian Gumbel, with these kind of clips and with these things, it's very telling that we already know that the Republican Party would never have voted for him. And seeing this clip again, because I played it on Leftist Mafia, seeing it again, I do see, because when I took as the second guy saying, somebody called in and couldn't say his last name, and I'm like, come on, guy, you know what I said? I was like, see, white folks will do that. Can't say the man's last name, so damn racist, but they want us to go ahead and pronounce Schnockenswalks, Schnockenswalkensins, Schneickenheimer. But then want to try to pronounce that man's last name.
Wouldn't even try it.
And I don't like that. That's what I don't like about y'all. And y'all make me sick over here. Y'all want to talk about how America has grown, and this is what Natasha was saying. She said, I just said this too. Our ancestors fought for so much. They knew they would never see this day, but they fought so that we could see this day. And while we're seeing this day, we're fighting so that our children's children will have see better days than us. America literally won't acknowledge Israel bombing that community because of what they look like and what they believe. Because America has done it right here in present day before. We ain't talking about 100, 200 years ago. Historically, throughout the nation, there are communities that were Black and thriving because they would not include us in other communities. Historically, throughout the nation, America is responsible for actually bombing and obliterating Black communities. And they don't want us to discuss and talk about that. They don't. They want us to act like it never happened, but they want us to remember October 7th and 9/11, and they want us to remember all these other damn things that happened. They want us to remember some man named Christopher Columbus that committed genocide. They want us to remember him and give him credit for founding America. Are you kidding me? They want us to uphold monuments of people who were our ancestors, slave owners. They want us to keep those monuments up in communities that we used to never be allowed to walk in because of these people. Are you kidding me? There's a place, and I forget the name, and it's in Orlando. I was driving through it, and I saw the museum for Zora Neale Hurston. I think she's from the area.
Yes.
And I seen the museum. I saw how they made sure that it was not upkept. That I Googled the community where the museum was. That community used to be a thriving Black community that white people tried to drive out Black people.
That's right.
And I read about it because when I was driving through it, I don't know why my spirit was being tugged at. And I said, what was this community? What was it? I Googled it. That community was where Black people were thriving at one point. And I looked over and it's fenced and gated in. And they're trying to get all the Black people. You can tell Black people who've been living there since it was thriving, but didn't want to move when they were driving all the Black people away. I'm looking at the other side where they have a fence up. And they're about to gentrify it. Yeah. This is a historic community, and they're about to gentrify it. Just build some apartments on there for. I told you, when you start seeing that white girl swing that ponytail down your street while she's on a run, just know gentrification is coming.
That happened to Atlanta.
Rent going up
all over Atlanta. But
yeah,
Rebecca.
You gotta go. I gotta go too, Ben. I know. I gotta go too. We reached the end of the show. Listen, if you guys are watching right now, make sure that you like, share, subscribe. If you're here, that means that you loved today's episode. And make sure you guys good on Patreon. Become a Patreon today. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. And you can also, if you like what you saw, you just want to tip your host, please do so. We got Ben at BPD 2018 on Cash App, and we have Becca's Voice on Cash App. And make sure, because our producer does a great job with just going with the call outs. That's DKG87 on Cash App. I love you guys so much. Mwah. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next Saturday.
It's time for Like It.
Free. Hey, I ain't worried about what's the wave, only worry about me, yeah. Oh, I'm taking time out to be and live my life off screen, taking time out to
let me go for one day, let me lose myself again. Give me something for the pain, always trying to pretend that I'm not living just a lie. Broken heart and shattered lives. Let me go for one day, let me lose myself. Oh,